27 minutes to the top of the hour. Time now for our discussion. But on our big question tonight, we asked you, who do you think is dropping the ball? Who do you think is responsible for the exam malpractices? Who exactly do you think? And a few feedback, and I'll be asking my guest tonight about this. Just an answer, principals. Teachers are not preparing the students well. The third one is the Teachers Service Commission concerning teachers' promotion based on student performance, making teachers to get involved in exam malpractice because they want their students to perform. The government is to be blamed. Teachers do not believe in their teaching action, and so action should be taken against them. And the weakest link are the invigilators. Either they are giving bribes or negligent. This is the only name, Danson Opio Ogier from Koru. The weak link is the exam center setters. And the last one here is the center managers. There's so much sentiment on the issue of education, just showing how pertinent and close this is to many of you. We'll be sampling a lot of them. But right now, we are waiting for Mheshimiwa Okia Mtata from Busia, because Mheshimiwa from Kisii is already here. Richard Nyonka, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Kenyans can't wait to hear from you. Yes. I mean, you have been this vocal, and I don't know why they've never realized. Yes. Because I started interviewing you almost 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
And I've
always been consistent. And I always talk about the same things. I always raise the same issues.
Yes.
But somehow
they just think you just came from nowhere and you're now speaking.
Absolutely. Or indeed, some people think I just got elected as a senator.
The other day,
I have been there for 20-something years.
Exactly.
I have been in this Senate, this National Assembly. I have served in government as a deputy minister.
Yes, assistant minister.
I have looked at it. I have seen it. I went to school through the post-colonial Kenyatta days. I saw we were singing for Mzee Kenyatta when he...
I sang for Mzee Moi.
Exactly. I've seen it all.
Yes.
So when you ask me, I don't even have to do my notes.
You know it at the back of your...
Absolutely. Because I have seen it. The data speaks for itself.
All right, let me start from data and speaking for itself and what you've seen it all. Today, there are more allegations of cheating. What's going on with our national examination? Why is it that suddenly, and it's not even suddenly, but this examination, for example, has so much problem? What's going on, Senator? What's going on?
I saw the question you asked, and I listened to the answers that Kenyans have given.
Yeah.
The answers that they gave are a microcosm. They are the consequences of what I have frequently said and I've articulated by saying we have a system that is broken. And this system that is broken, you cannot fix the bits. That breakage of the system must come from the very ethic. Who are we? What have we become? What sort of people are we? I mean, you're busy talking about, it's the students who are doing this. No, it's the parents, it's the exam. No, the system we have is designed in such a manner that the winner must take it all. In the process of the winner taking it all, then you begin to break up that system into bits. And that is why when you go to the examination system, then the examination is designed as the sieving. It's the one which separates who moves on and who doesn't.
And everyone wants to move on.
And everybody wants to move on. That's number one.
Yes.
Number two, those who are able to buy this capacity, they will buy it. Those who have money and want their children to pass examination nationally, so long as they're able to put the cash on the table, there are also those leaders and teachers and examiners and everybody
who are willing to
take the money because that is the price that they have to pay for them to continue sustaining their lives and maintaining their lives in this corrupt system.
Regardless of the consequences.
Absolutely. Unless you go down to the... Matiang'i tried to create a bandit system.
It never worked.
It never worked. We have to go down and find out why is it that we want our teachers to make the children who they teach so much, who they love so much, children who are actually clever. Why do you want a child who's clever to get a leakage? You see, I mean, look at all of us. I can sit in a school and I'll tell you, if you look at the exams, you can tell that the children who are naturally going to get A's, there are those ones who will not. The fact that your child has not got an A does not mean that that child is condemned. That child is gifted differently.
Culture of Head Start, Mheshimiwa.
Yes.
Is it just a culture that we have to give some people in life Head Start?
That is the culture that we have not adopted, where right now, any person who comes in like me wants to be a leader, you begin to think about how much money you must make, how you want to live in this very expensive neighborhood. You drive some of the best cars. I've said these things over and over. We have created a narrative for our children where they no longer believe in meritocracy and excellence. They believe in quick fix and quick fit.
They call it microwave generation.
Absolutely. They are ready to buy a Range Rover car which costs 24 million.
And the
explanation as to how he lives from 1 shilling to 24 million is never given.
Zero.
So if this child is busy, does he buy that legitimacy? Does this child buy his excellence in school? Does he begin to steal but cover himself until when he's able to come up like that? So we are basically creating a banana republic.
I have 2 examples to give you.
Yes.
One, there was a research from the Aga Khan University that they asked the young people about wealth acquisition and how they will acquire the wealth. And if they care how they acquire it. Majority of the students said they don't care how they acquire the wealth.
Absolutely.
As long as they have the wealth.
Thank you.
The second example that I want to give you, because I need to move on from this topic, is if you were a teacher today and you fall sick in 10 years, because you will fall sick, and you aided a student pass exam.
Who didn't get an A?
And he's your doctor, and you go to the reception, and from the triage, you see the doctor, the person you aided, as your doctor. What will you do? Have people stop to contemplate what they're doing to themselves?
It will kill you.
I will run away. I will not wait.
Live alone a doctor.
Yes.
I mean, you are going to allow children who don't have the capacity of understanding engineering and architecture. Constructing buildings which are just going to collapse and kill people.
No wonder they collapse.
My brother Mizungu, I keep saying this. Kenyans have to decide which country they want. And we are going to deliberately do that. If you look at the American elections, that's the narrative. Do you want a country that is far to the left, that is going to accommodate any thoughts which is going to be anti-whatever, that is racist or whatever? All those issues were put on the table and the Americans made a decision.
I'm going to talk about the American election in the next hour, but Senator, I'd like to ask you this as we take a break in about 3 minutes.
Yes.
Meg Whitman, I have never seen Kenyans so vocal about an ambassador from the US in this country like Meg Whitman. Even today, our headline, if you pull it up, the Standard, is talking about that because the narrative today has been shaped by her resignation. What is the excitement in quotes about her leaving? Because there have been calls that she be recalled. They have always said that she is anti the people and pro the president, right? And this has caused a lot of issues. And today when she said herself, I'm resigning, of course, because of the dynamic of Republican president now in, everything changed. Everything changed. And it's a sentiment. What's going on? Why is there so much sentiment around Meg Whitman?
I look at about 2 or 3 reasons. Number one, the reality and the feeling for very many, particularly young Kenyans, is that she did not come out as the champion of democracy and human rights and good governance when the Gen Zs came out and demonstrated and they were trying to actually fight the government. The feeling that many Kenyans have is that she was very pro-President William Ruto. Okay? The truth and the reality is I don't think that she would have taken a different position, whether it was Whitman or another ambassador, because President William Ruto winning the elections, there was an expectation about his speeches and the things he was talking about. So there was a narrative that was already created about how the president was going to be a success.
Okay.
So when some of the things that started happening that were negative, when the issues of corruption have been in excess around our governance, the public, the Kenyan public, has always expected that the ambassadors from the European Union, ambassadors from the American embassy, and all those countries that believe in good governance and proper administration in serving their people and providing the basics and make sure that these countries become democratic. To the Kenyans, majority of them basically feel that Ambassador Whitman was taking care of the American interest. It did not matter whether there were human rights abuses within the Ruto government, especially the abductions.
But America is big on human rights. And
the reality is that the Americans look like they didn't care about the position where Kenya was. America has always defended the Kenyan position, or at least sort of remained neutral.
Yeah.
But the reality is that Whitman came, and I don't understand the nitty-gritties or the detailing of what her responsibilities were. And unfortunately, or fortunately, President Trump won the elections and the Democrats conceded, and he's setting up his government.
And probably he would not
allow her to even serve.
Yes. But subsequent, I mean, I have seen, and we showed Kenyans a number of presidents who have come in, and the ambassadors who've served both governments, Republican and Democrat.
Yes.
So probably she did not just say this as going to work for her. There could be differences in policy. Because one of the reasons, as we take the break, that I really think maybe she would have waited. Whitman worked for Elon Musk as best of PayPal, right? She was one of the last successful CEOs before Elon Musk moved to PayPal. Sold it and went to it's called I'm just
the car making company.
Yes. Yeah. So before then, and Elon Musk is a Trump boy in quotes, right?
That is true.
So it could be easy to say, it's easy to continue with him, man, but it's their decision.
But there's also a possibility that she disagreed with Elon Musk, and that's why, because she comes from she's very wealthy. Yeah. That's why she was working with the Democrats. But again, the truth is, American politics right now is extremely divisive.
Okay.
It has become extremely predetermined. There are two sides. You're going to be on one or the other. Before the American governments, depending on which position you held, even whether you were a Republican or a Democrat, they could accommodate you depending on your neutrality and certain issues.
Okay.
In this case, I believe she noticed that Trump's position is this, and Trump is going that way, and she may not survive in his regime.
All right, we take a break. When we come back, we'll be doing business and sports. But tonight we are asking you on the big Q, based on the fact that there are exam malpractices, KCSE, who do you think is dropping the ball? Is it